I gave my life to Jesus when I was 12. I was saved and asked Jesus into my heart to be my Savior, but I never followed him after that. I went to church and with my grandmother every Sunday, but I never read my Bible or did anything to follow him. I went to church. The past 5 years, I've changed a lot. I became a mom in the last 5 years, so that was huge. Because before I did not do very good things, and I just wasn't living a good life. One day in the car, my son, who was 3, we were driving, and he asked me who lived up in the sky. And I told him that Jesus and God did. And he looked at me and he was like, no, I don't know who that is. Giants live in the sky. And my heart broke because he did not know who God was. And that was my fault, 100% my fault. I had been living my life not following Jesus, not teaching my kids about them, and he's 3.5 and doesn't know. So that's when we started going back to church. It really didn't start for me to follow Jesus and to really have him as my Savior until January 17th here at First Church, when I rededicated my life to God. Pastor John had given an invitation to come up, and I didn't take that one. And then I told myself the next one that he gives, I'm gonna do it. And I think he did one the very next week. And I got up that day and I went back to the back and I spoke with Terry and told her my story that I had been saved, but it was many, many years ago, and I never followed Jesus, and that I want to follow him, and I want to be in his ways, and I want to love like he loves. And I was ready to start to do that. Because every sermon I could have probably gotten up and gone back there. And I still sometimes feel like I need to get up and go back there and talk with somebody. Even though I am following Jesus now, I still feel like, okay, I need a little bit more. We started coming to First Church in January, and then by February, by Valentine's Day, we were sitting at dinner, and we're sitting across the table from each other. And he looked at me and he said, "Mommy, look, you're sitting across from me, and Papa and Grandma are sitting across from each other, and that makes a cross, and Jesus died on the cross." And my broken heart that was from him not knowing God was full again, because he knows him and can talk about him like he's a friend, and that means so much to me. And one day we were playing outside, and he threw a rock, and he was like, "I'm like Goliath." And I had to go back and read the story because I didn't know the story. I mean, I knew parts of it, and I didn't read that to him. He learned that at First Church in the children's ministry. And they teach him so much, and I'm so thankful for that. The fact that he knows his name and he talks about him and he engages in him and things, that just makes my heart so full. That encourages me to learn more, and so that I can teach him more.